Not long ago, the 5-door version of the Audi A3, the Sportback, picked up the ultimate prize that we can bestow on a car when we named it our 2013 Car of the Year. However, sometimes when you chop the roof off a car, it can totally ruin the way that it drives. So, is that the case with the Audi A3 Cabriolet, or is it as good as the excellent Sportback? Now, the reason that taking the roof off the top of a car can affect how it drives is you are effectively taking away a load of its strength. If you take away this top bit here, you've got to put a load more reinforcement in down there. Now that obviously can make it a lot heavier, and despite that, it can still shake around a bit on harsher road surfaces. However, on the A3, that doesn't happen anywhere near as much as it does on other convertibles. In fact, on the SE suspension, it is positively comfortable. It is a little bit harsher on the stiffer suspension setup that you get on the Sport and S-Line models, but as you can sub in the SE suspension completely free of charge, we would heartily recommend that you do that. Now, that extra weight that I mentioned earlier does mean that the A3 Cabriolet is marginally slower from 0 to 60 miles an hour than the Sportback equivalent, no matter which engine you go for. However, it is only about half a second in every case, and it is still more efficient than all of its rivals as well. Now, whichever engine you go for in the A3 Cabriolet, they're all pretty smooth and quiet, but the one thing that we would avoid on this car is the S-Tronic automatic gearbox. It's just not as smooth or as intelligent as other modern automatics. So, given the choice, we would stick with the manual. Now, you only get a fabric hood on the A3, but as you'd expect these days, everything is electronically operated. Obviously, it's not quite as quiet in here as something that's got a load of metal around you, but it's not far off, and it's much better than rivals like the VW Beetle convertible. You can also get an acoustic roof, which is that bit thicker, and it's about a couple of £100, and it cuts out a bit more sound. Now, it takes 18 seconds to fold the roof completely up or down, but as you can do it at speeds up to 31 miles an hour, you don't have to stop at the side of the road or even slow down that much to do it. And we're done. Now, with the roof down, it is pretty serene in here if you fit the rear wind deflector, but you can only do that if there's nobody sat in the back seat. Take it out, however, and it gets a little bit blustery for all concerned. The cabin is pretty much the same as the rest of the A3 range, minimalistic, simple to use, but covered in high quality materials. Take a look at our full A3 Sportback video review for more information on that. Now, if you want to get 4 adults in the A3 Cabriolet, then you can, but don't expect 2 fully grown adults to be too happy about spending hours at a time back here. Legroom is pretty tight to say the least, and it's quite restricted in terms of headroom when the roof is in place. The boot is bigger than that in the likes of the VW Golf Cabriolet and about the same as the one in the BMW 1 Series. And if you drop the roof on the A3, then you do lose a bit of space, but you do get split folding rear seats as standard to help you carry longer items. There aren't many convertibles that cost less than £30,000 that are easy to recommend, but the A3 Cabriolet is definitely one of them. It is classy inside, it's good to drive, and it is remarkably quiet on the move for a drop top. So long as you don't need to carry 4 adults very often, then there is very little going against it. For more information, search for Audi A3 Cabriolet on whatcar.com, and while you're here, check out the rest of our videos and do click subscribe to keep up with our latest releases.